we will call the FARGODOME Authority meeting to order for Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. And the first item, let's get the agenda approved. We'll go. Yeah, we'll go. The first item is we'll get the agenda. The agenda is before you. Is there any additions, subtractions, comments on the agenda?
Motion to approve is presented.
Thank you, Dan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Rick. All those in favor of approving the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Before we hop into old business, we are going to start with an introduction, and that is Todd Olson.
Yes, so
Yes,
I will
thank you.
take it first, and Nancy can add if she wants, and Todd can do it as well. But so, Todd Olson, the Director of Student Activities for the Fargo School District, has been appointed by the City Commission. I think officially it'll be the October-ish, November meeting, as Nancy commented, so thank you to Nancy for that, and I'll save the ceremony for the October meeting. We'll cut cake, well, maybe a couple cupcakes. We'll give you a little frosting.
I'm going for the ice cream.
Ice cream, oh, ice cream melts. Okay, so but anyways, Todd has been with Fargo School District at least 10, if not like 13 years. 13 years. Came from an illustrious career in Grand Forks as teacher and activities director and assistant principal and all sorts of stuff. So he and I work very closely with all the state tournaments. Todd leads the Metro Tournament Committee. So you've heard at the reports at this level on the different contributions they've made to equipment and things with that. But so he'll be a great addition. And I don't know, but just so you all know him, and if you have any questions for him, or if he has anything more to add to it, or Nancy, feel free.
No, I think he's a good dude.
We're trying to stretch to 22 minutes.
It's an all-male deal now, guys, so, careful.
All right. So how many years, Nancy, have you been on the board?
Long enough to know better, but long enough to be really pleased.
You don't know, do you?
I don't.
Well, by the time
It
you're
was
done,
2
you'll know.
terms and change.
All right.
2 terms and change.
Okay.
Well, welcome. Looking forward to having you. And with that, I'm going to segue into that goes into an item that was discussed at Finance Committee last Wednesday, and that was Nancy informed us that the October FDA meeting will be her last meeting. Todd will step in for replacements. So that is how those 2 items parlay together. So that's that. We will go on to the item number 3, and that is new business, and that is the general manager's report. Rob, table's yours.
You didn't ask if there's any old business or the minutes.
Oh, jeez,
You got
details.
the agenda approved, though.
We got the agenda approved. All right, let's go to item number 1, and that's the minutes from August 27th. Any comments, revisions, changes to the minutes as presented?
Move approval.
Thank you, Troy. Second from Nancy. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Carrying on, number 2, is there any old business in front of the FDA? All right, item number 3, new business, general manager's report. Rob?
All right, page 3 is the monthly financials. Left-hand side is the month of August, right-hand side is year-to-date through August 31st. August typically is a slow month. I realized last year wasn't so slow, but that is the anomaly. A lot of shows and tours are still outside, and I don't want to come in. And as we were talking about earlier here today, we were very fortunate to be able to shoehorn a couple stadium shows in that year. But so we had one attendance, that was Nate Bragazzi, one event with attendance of just over 8,500 compared to a budget of 8,500. Total event income of 133,600 compared to a budget of 162,008, and we had total indirect expenses of 423,000 compared to a budget of 410,500. So we had for the month of August, $137,600 deficit compared to a $90,000 deficit, so a little bit lower than budget. However, as we go through on the Nate Bragazzi, we basically ran through a full concert on our budget for the month, and Nate, great show, 9,000 people for a comedian, I think is great in Fargo, North Dakota. In fact, I will say other promoters have already taken notice and heard on some of that. That doesn't mean anything else is going to happen, but they've at least seen the very positive results. But pretty much no intermissions or not many intermissions, late arriving crowd. We don't sell as much alcohol as a regular budgeted concert, and also they did not have any on-site merch. It is interesting, actually some concerts are starting to go to it as well, where they're just QR coding. And it's just go here and buy your merch, versus actually setting up the traditional way with merch sellers and everything such as that. So not too many are there yet, but I think on the comedian and smaller show way, they're doing that more and more. But the large touring shows still understand that they got to grab that extra dollars when they're here. Also, then on the amateur sports, it was a $1,400 ad that was rollover from USA Wrestling. The final merch novelties settlement was paid out, and was a little bit higher than what Zach had forecasted compared to last year. So that's the difference there. And then meeting rooms, about $1,200 above budget, so a good meeting room month there. On the expense side, or other income, interest again continues to be very favorable. The ticket revenue was down lower than budget. However, now we do have Monster Jam in February, Pentatonics Holiday Show in December, and Nitro Circus, which will be November 7th, all on sale, so we'll kind of hopefully see that do really well, switch a little bit. Little precursor to the upcoming events, but Pentatonics is selling really well. We can tell the market seemed to be pretty hungry for a large touring holiday show, and we can tell it's something that hasn't been here before. So we're selling very strong for that. Expense side, labor is about $12,500 above budget or below budget, which is good, due to with the one full-time staff elimination. Operations was about $24,000 above budget, a little bit more timing with getting ready for the football season early in September, as well as pretty hot, so steam heating, cooling, particularly at Nate Pregazzi. That was quite a hot day, late August, but had to have everything running to fight the heat and the humidity on that. Any questions on the month? So then year to date, it's kind of there on the concert side. We've run 5 total budgets of the 8 through. So 4 of our major concerts or bigger concerts, 1 of our minor or smaller shows, but with Nitro Circus, Pentatonics, we'll run those others through and then burn off another one. Kind of, we never always really know for that. So, but so we've had total attendance of 200, just about 260,000 compared to a budget of 270, and total event income of 2.1 million compared to a budget of 2.2 million, and expenses of 3.4 million compared to a budget of 3.5 million. So we, through the month of August, have a net deficit of just over 17,000, which still is $43,000 above the budgeted deficit of 60,000, which is typical into that August time frame. Any questions on the financials? Okay, hearing none, then moving to page 12. Past and upcoming events since our last meeting, which was August 27th. We did kick off the NDSU football season. We've talked. On September 7th, they hosted Tennessee State. I think very good attendance for the type of day. Gorgeous, early fall day, but it was still 16,000 in the first quarter. Started to dwindle from there, but that's no fault of anybody other than, I'm happy to see them win. The next week, the Thursday, we hosted the NDSU College of Health Professionals, their annual career fair, plus their scholarship program luncheon, dessert luncheon that was on all throughout the lobby and East Concourse, the meeting rooms upstairs and downstairs. And then this past weekend, NDSU had their homecoming versus Towson. Again, great crowd, about 17,000 in the first half. And then it went down from there, and I think some of those people who left in the third quarter were getting a little nervous if they were listening to the radio, but NDSU corrected it and turned it around. So food and beverage stay open till the middle of the fourth quarter, so don't leave the game early. And then Sunday we had our first round of youth football, kind of the out-of-town group managed by Carrington and Lisbon had seven youth football games. Today the NDSU Career Center's Engineering and Tech Expo, or their fall career fairs, are setting up, and they will have that fair tomorrow. Any questions, comments on past events?
Yeah, I have a comment. Just wanted to pass along my appreciation to the food choices. There's been some nice additions this year, and it's good to see more choices. I see a lot of food going back and forth, so people are utilizing it too, so good job. I like new choices. I had to sample some just to make sure.
Well, we appreciate that, yeah. Casey Erickson, our Director of Food and Beverage, and then Joey Haynes, our Food and Beverage Concessions Manager. They worked pretty hard over the summer looking at a lot of different things. Joey started late December last year. I know he did not get the NDSU football games. I think Rumble on the Red was his first trip, but he has local ties, so obviously we brought. They kind of looked at our grill stands on the two ends, and so Cowboy, they worked with Cowboy Jacks to come in on one, and then Bruber on the other, and so they've kind of upped their game, and that works well. Plus also with bringing in Mahana Fresh, which is a actual former NDSU player. Does okay at NDSU football. It's not really their crowd, but did very well at USA Wrestling. So a lot of different things there, and the Buzzy Bee coffee.
And there's Philly's cheesesteak and mac and cheese.
Yep, Fargo Phillies. Fargo Phillies was here last year.
Okay.
Last fall, but they brought in the mac and cheese again, added that into it. So he's got a lot of different businesses that he can. So they really worked hard to bring that local flair in. Casey and I were just talking today, and her comment is, well, we just need more points of sale. And honestly, as part of the
That's what you'll get.
hopeful intended renovation, we'd be adding for a full house, whether it's a football game or a concert, about 2/3 more. So we run about 65, 70 points of sale right now when we're maxed out, and we'd be running about 2/3 more than that if this goes through.
How about kind of segue into my question, points of sale, like the quick serve areas, seems like.
The grab and goes?
Yeah, grab and goes, are those, do you have numbers to show how they might be faring?
Not off the top of my head. I can tell you that they're doing a couple $1,000s in retail sales a game. One of them has alcohol, the other one doesn't, so you can guess which one does more. But they're still, well received. In fact, I think this last game, Joey was commenting that they were taking, if a line was created at that beer stand in that southeast corner, and it's on the south concourse, and they were just kind of cutting that line and saying, well, you can just go right over here and get pretty much the same variety, and actually a larger variety. The volume isn't there because it just doesn't, people aren't drawn there as much. But so because the volume isn't there, we also have a few more selections, so we have a lot of varieties. We just can't have everything in every location.
Yeah.
So you have to pay attention. Sarah and has done a good job, along with Morgan in marketing and the graphics, working with food and beverage to kind of put up those concourse maps on the video on the concourse video walls, branding the different sections, and okay, this is available in section 6. This is available, between sections 6 and 7, which would be in that corner. So there's a lot of stuff out there. We've actually a couple of added. I realize alcohol is not always popular, but we've added a larger variety of that, not more spots, just different varieties, and even gone to some pre-mixed cocktails, because that was one thing that we heard that people, the beer and the seltzer's good. We'd like this. It's not in excess, but it's in a couple different locations. But again, like with the Mahana Fresh, the Buzzy Bee Nitro Coffee, and then continuing with our long-standing ones, with the roasted almonds, and Domino's, and Dippin' Dots, and Cold Stone, and all of that. I think it is interesting. You say that where there are a lot of people there have been people in the past who's, God, it's just concessions fair. It's like, well, it's this, we have this. Really? Like, yeah, do a little bit more than walk from the entry door directly to your seat next time and explore what's around there. Not only can you see a lot more food and beverage options, but you'll also find some restrooms that don't have lines in them. So
I do think that's true. I mean, I do think people go to the.
we all have tunnel vision, and so sometimes it is to realize that it is on the individual or on us to do a little bit more self-exploration of what's around there and seeing what's being offered. But thank you for that. I appreciate that. Somebody did ask me why Casey doesn't come to these meetings and talk some more, and to give that so she could hear the credit. And I said, well, Casey's a wonderful person, but if I made her speak in front of people, right now she'd be probably 17 shades of red and have run out of the room. So, but no, they're doing a great job with that, and looking to only expand on that. So, good. Thank you for that. So moving forward then, as I mentioned already, this week we've got the NDSU Career Fair going on, moving in today, events tomorrow, and then Saturday, October 5th. Kind of important, so it's NDSU hosting North Dakota for that game, so we're expecting a pretty good attendance for that. That Sunday then we have Dynasty Elite, which is another local youth football program. They're coming in for a couple of football games. And then the Maine FM Athletics youth football, that's been a partner of FARGODOME for 20 plus years, probably even 30 years, I think almost since the building opened. They'll be in for their first day on Sunday the 13th. And then another day of 10 or 11 football games on Sunday the 20th, with the NDSU South Dakota State football game sandwich in there. Then a quick turnaround with moving the turf off, and the Big One Arts and Craft Fair will start loading in on Wednesday the 23rd and 24th, and their show will be on the 25th, 26th. For that, before our next meeting, and the turf goes back out to start a whole nother round of high school and college football. So busy times. Any other comments, questions on upcoming events, past events, anything? All right, that would conclude.
Thank you. We will carry on, and we will go to committee reports, and that would be building and finance.
Sure.
Rick, the table's yours.
Thanks, Dave. The Building and Finance Committee met last week, and a pretty short report here. I don't have anything to add to the August financial reports.
And I forgot to go over it
Okay.
when I did the financials, and I'm gonna put him on the spot to see if he remembers, because I can't remember what it was. But I know Blake had a question on the NDSU contracts, and so Zach did look it up, and he has the actual answer, not the one I just made up at the meeting last week.
It was the electrical billing to
There we
NDSU,
go.
which we do yearly in August.
So we do.
So last year it was higher.
It's metered and they come through, but now with the indoor, they do most of their stuff over at the indoor, so they're not using as much electricity over here, even laundry and things such as that. So it was the actual just bill back on the electric, which then corresponds the amount of square footage, but I think also the amount of electrical use is what factors into how much of a bill back they get for the charge for the generator usage as well. So it just kind of has a rolling factor on that.
Perfect. Besides that item, I don't have anything to add to the financial reports as provided by Rob. Project and capital budget updates. We had one item that Rob talked about, was the astroturf for the football field. AstroTurf, people from the company continue to come out and survey the conversions from putting it in, taking it out. And Rob, I know you talked a little bit more about that, if you want anything to add at this point.
You know what, I didn't get an update, didn't have a chance to talk to Matt Costello today, but I do know that the mechanical side was here last night when they took the turf off of the field to kind of monitor the 11 motors. And I believe the actual manufacturers of the motors were online, standing by, in case they wanted to look at different things and try to change the amperage of the motors so that they can keep the spar as straight as possible, which is the spar is what is pulled out and pushed back in, to keep that as straight as possible as it's going in, to, in theory, keep it straight coming back out then as well.
Okay.
So I did not get a report on that.
And I don't think we had anything else on project updates at this point. We did take a look at the Fargo Permanent Fund, the trust fund. Year ended was 6/30, which is the report we received. Net investment income for that 12 months ended 6/30 was $3,946,000. We had distributions for capital expenditures of $2,750,000 for the year. Increase in net position, and then those two, $1,196,000 for an ending balance of $43,816,000. And that's all I have on the escrow balance. Additional items, we did chat about Nancy's change coming up, and also we had some discussion on the FARGODOME expansion education campaign, which Dave, I think, will cover with the next item on the agenda. So with that, that's all I have, and would move for approval of the Building and Finance Committee report.
Thank you, Rick. This will be roll call.
So we do need a second because we're doing financials now.
Second?
Dan?
Troy?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Blake?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Thank you, Rick. No, thank you.
Going on to number 5, the discussion of the FARGODOME remodel, just to perhaps bring everybody up to speed. Everybody was at Finance Committee last Wednesday. Following Finance Committee meeting, we had another meeting with H2M. H2M is the firm that was awarded the educational informational campaign on behalf of the FARGODOME. And so we had a meeting with them, received their, I guess it was more of a tactical meeting, received information from them and set the path kind of going forward that Sarah and Morgan will be the primary contact when information comes in from H2M for the marketing to vet that information. Also with Ian, because of the fact that it has to be informational and educational will be involved in that. So that is moving forward, and hopefully we'll start seeing signs of that informational educational campaign that'll be coming out. In addition to that, since last Wednesday, we have myself, Sarah, and Rob are with the Downtown Community Partnership to present the FARGODOME project to them. So we'll have that tomorrow at 8:30. And those are kind of the things that are in motion right now. So we're moving forward with it, and hopefully in the coming days you'll start seeing some of the work from the marketing campaign being informational. You'll start seeing that out there. So yeah, we've got 40 days from now to roughly 40 days to
42, it's 6 weeks from today.
42 days to
7 times
the
6 is 42, right?
to the vote. So yeah, they should start seeing stuff on the campaign. So and then we meet here in October for finance, mid-October that Wednesday, and then the end of October. So that'll be the plan, is to get this up and rolling and build the momentum. So that's where we are with the FARGODOME remodel project, and I would then move on to.
I'd actually ask Sarah if she had anything like that.
Oh, forgive me, Sarah.
I do have
I forgot
a
about
fact
that.
sheet. So we have one item that we're still getting final approval of. However, I'm leaning strongly that it is factual and informational, so I'm keeping it. So I wanted to share this because this will be what is out on our FARGODOME landing page. This will be the information that is going to be kind of a reference point for any questions that you guys might get asked or information that you want to share out there. So feel free to take some of these to kind of familiarize yourselves with the content and pieces that are on there. It's FARGODOME landing page is up and running. It's at fargodome.com/learn more about the project. There's our FAQs, some of our updated renderings, as well as the short video from last time in regards to the project and why we are putting this forward.
And on here too, on both sides, the QR code takes you to the landing page.
Yes. I was very excited to learn what QR codes do.
I knew what they did, I just never got it to work. The other side of that too is Sarah has planned a couple of open houses that we will host at FARGODOME for factual information. The authority members will be getting a calendar invite that's information. You're more than welcome to attend, but you don't have to attend. But if you're available, could be good to hear what people are, if people show up and if they're asking questions or different things such as that. We're still kind of planning a lot of different things, but So that will be Tuesday, October 15th.
Yes, there'll be two of them. One will be about that 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. There will be an afternoon session that'll be about 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then we'll do Monday, October 21st from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Just to give a variety of times, similar presentation, similar speakers, but just an opportunity for the public to come out and maybe ask those questions that they kind of ask behind the keyboard, maybe ask their friends. This is a way to get in front of them and invite them to come out and even see some of the updates that we're looking at. Obviously, we still have the chairs in the lower
Yeah.
lobby for that potential. You can physically see some of the renderings and again, ask questions, and hopefully we'll be able to answer them to how they are satisfactory.
Are we getting comments on the chairs that are out there as far as feedback right now?
The only feedback I got was from one texter who said, I'm all for the new chairs as long as the cup holders are behind and not the elbow crunchers on the end of the armrest. And I said, got it, thanks. So, but it was also from a Moorhead resident, so. So yeah, I mean, people are looking at it, it's, it is what it is, we're putting it out there. One thing too on the fact sheet, where we say the revenue from non-local patrons of the FARGODOME at 55%. Keep in mind that 55% is a 30-mile radius. So when we talk in the essence of sales tax, it's pretty local city of Fargo sales tax. It's pretty easy to extrapolate that 55% is much larger. But
Yes.
there's no fact we can point to.
Gotcha. Is H2 handling the social media piece too?
I yield to Sarah.
Yes, so they will be, I actually, right before walking in here, did get an update on some strategy and design concepts that they're looking to put out there that incorporated some of that. We have not determined yet if we will be utilizing a new page or if we'll just be pushing out through FARGODOME's social channels, the content. Just based off of being the educational informational, we will be able to post a lot on our own behalf now, whereas before we couldn't, or advocate for yes vote. So that will be coming, but yes, they will be helping us with creation and getting that information out there.
I think in fairness to them as well, there's some challenges with the definition between informational and advocacy. And so frankly, we are asking them to get this information out, but we have a lot of handcuffs on them through the legal interpretation, which is fair. That's what it is. That's just the game we got to play. So,
And that was the discussion, is it can't be vote yes, so I propose don't vote no.
Well, there's a way to get at it.
Like, I thought that was
Clever.
And then Ian was stumped for a minute.
you're both hockey players, so you understand.
I thought it was brilliant, but anyways, I stole your thunder.
But yeah, no, that's fine. But so they're kind of working through that, and honestly, I happen to agree with it. I am not a genius, although I play one on TV. But there is a lot of stuff out there for a lot of different city and statewide measures. So H2M seems to be kind of thinking that the best route here is we'll hit them, but we'll hit them hard, but we're going to hit them in that last 2-3-ish week window, so people remember it, hopefully, versus hitting them here 6 weeks out, and it's like, God, wasn't there something else on there? But there's good and there's bad on it. We're gonna take our shot.
Yep. Anything further for the FDA?
Regarding remodel or other stuff?
No, just anything else?
Okay, so a couple of things that, remember I was talking tunnel vision earlier, and I apparently had it because I forgot to add some stuff.
Okay.
Nothing major, just an update. Number one, 2 meetings ago, the authority had talked about exploring what it would cost for kind of evaluation or
Yes.
evaluation, naming rights, different things such as that. Since then, a lot's been happening and happened, so we've actually had some opportunities to talk to certain either existing or potential sponsors who've kind of taken the opportunity of the possible expansion, and they've kind of got pretty excited about what could be. But I did reach out to some contacts in the industry. I do think that evaluation could likely be done for less than $50,000. So I think that's something maybe I would suggest anyways, not doing anything at today's meeting, but running it through the committees in October, and the FDA if you'd like to see if you want to further explore that. Again, as we've said, that's not really the way, an alternative financing for the project, but it's something that could help, and honestly, if it grows after things happen or even without it, it might be a way to retire things earlier, if possible. So I wanted to get that out there. Second is just right now polling. The November FARGODOME Authority meeting, something for you to think of, you can finalize in October if you want, is currently scheduled for Tuesday, November 26th, which is the Tuesday prior to Thanksgiving. Somebody in this room who shall remain nameless may have a possible conflict with that day, and wondering if, because it's so close to Thanksgiving, that person would be more than happy to move the meeting a day early to Monday, November 25th, which would then give you all an opportunity to have an extra day to plan for Thanksgiving. Something to think about. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Their son will just have to, their child will just have to deal with it. But
Does anybody here at the FDA have a problem moving it to Monday? It's
Monday, what's the date?
It's
Monday, November 25th.
Okay. No problem for me.
So something to think about.
It's, I do agree, it's Thanksgiving weekend, so if there's no opposition, let's just clean it up and.
All right. That individual thanks you, but I don't think they want to speak up at this meeting.
So we'll move that,
25th is fine.
Okay.
25th.
It'll be 3:30. You'll
We
still
should
be in
ask-
the room. So.
We should ask Todd. Todd, does that work for you? Excellent.
You will be there then, huh?
And then finally, which I didn't bring up in the introductions, but I guess at least for the authority members, you met Todd, but y'all didn't tell him your name.
Oh, yes.
So I don't know if he knows you all, but it might be nice to. Okay, good to know.
He introduced
We did
himself
introductions.
as they came in.
Yeah.
All right, good.
He
Yep.
took care of it.
I think we're good.
Other than that, I don't have anything. Sorry.
Thank you. With that, is there any other additional business in front of the FDA? Hearing none, we're adjourned.